Alright, this is a reply to Gary. I'll try to find the video. It's a few days. I've been meaning to reply to it. If I can find the video. If it's lost, then too bad. So, first of all, Gary in this video and in Stickum, he's promising that all his videos to me will have the word idiot in the title. Piero the idiot. Oh no. Seriously, this is like a threat in the video and in person. It's like if you had a roommate and every time you buy Coca-Cola, he drinks them all. And then he gets mad at you and goes, hey, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to drink all your Cokes from now on. And I'm like, well, you already do that. And he's like, yeah, but I'm not going to apologize for doing it. I'm like, well, you never apologize for doing it anyway. Yeah, but the situation where even I should apologize is going to change. Whoa. What a big loss. You can't imagine. This is how poor of a relativist you guys tend to be, you in particular. You can't imagine that it doesn't give... I mean, the only thing that hurts about that is that if I may have given you any inclination of being the sort of person that would respond to that kind of threat or give a shit. I mean, it's not even that I'm not responding to it because I'm so tough I don't care about it. I just don't care. Why would I care? You're calling me an idiot on the internet, so people will see you and that you're calling me an idiot. That's already been happening, and the only drawback is sometimes I get PMs from people that think I'm some fascist conservative because they see you as some sort of a liberal, the most genuine liberal that wants to exterminate the species on the planet, and so they assume, well, I'm the opposite. But those aren't the brightest people. Those aren't the most politically astute people. So theoretically, it's sad because these are liberals, and I would share something with them. But frankly, I'm perfectly satisfied to just have revealed that, in spite of our political similarities, we don't share the important things like how reasoning works. So what I trouble figuring out what the cost would be, or even a perceived cost, or how that would matter. Now I'm adding a link on sharpening here because, and it's not like what does the sharpening mean? Like you're starting to waffle. Well, though it can't mean what I think of by sharpening. No, when the scientists use the word sharpening, they mean what they mean by sharpening. The point is, you acted like Hannibal is a liar and an idiot, and anti-Darwin is talking about this with your theory of it's just so that they fit in the mouth. Okay, great. Show me the evidence of this or that. I mean, what? It's a link to a National Geographic blog where they do use the term sharpening in relation to sharpening molars. I mean, sharpening canines with premolars. The video he was commenting on, he complained I didn't have links and not using the tool. Well, I've been busy and I had to do that stupid video 3 times, so I lost the links. Now, on the cognition in the brain, and it's Sickum, this is when I left because Gary's all, well, if you're going to talk religion, go to religion channel. Because I was talking about the brain evolved to run the body. So, for example, when we're talking about the evolution of language, the part of the brain that runs the larynx for communication purposes, that part of the brain's still there if your larynx is removed. So that part gets activated during language. That's evolutionarily related to the larynx. It doesn't like use the larynx to think, but the part that thinks evolved to run the larynx. The way it thinks is the way it has to think to run a larynx. So there's this relation. And this is true of the whole body. And the part that Gary really wanted to go is that according to cognitive science right now, noticing that the mind evolved to run the body, all language are ways of symbolizing sense and motor activity, right? They're all metaphors from bodily activities, all language, and that would explain why the fact that two people, someone from Asia and someone from Europe could be stranded on a deserted island and they could learn each other's language because they would work from body metaphors up, and the whole language can be translated and communicated that way. Wow. So, for example, I'm wondering, can you grasp this concept? Grasp. See, that's a metaphor from picking something up with your hand. See, a mental thing is important as grasping an idea. Comes from a body metaphor, and that's supposed to be religion. No, you're just out of date because they didn't print this 30 years ago in National Geographic. I will reiterate that yes, Hannibal's facts are checking out. I don't agree with everything he's saying, but his facts are checking out as legitimate. They're not as made up as just some intuitions that we're told to believe. And I'm going to be going through those videos in detail. I'm using them as my structured conversation mapping development example. And you were telling me that I should somehow have to prove that your video really was idiotic. No. Hannibal was replying to me civilly. You came in and were rude. And that's enough for you to get called an idiot. I'm sorry, when you're rude to people, some of them are going to call you an idiot. And then you called me an idiot while you were complaining about this. Which just goes to emphasize that you want to use one value system when it comes to you being called an idiot, and another value system about calling others idiot. And I guess the best thing I can say is good luck with that. You also complained that I didn't make a reply video disagreeing with him. Well, I put a theory that I put up before about the Cro-Magnon genociding, basically have a genocidal relationship with the disappearance of the Neanderthal, as opposed to just, say, slow evolutionary competition, that it was intentional murder, basically. And he disagreed with that. I don't have to make a video going, oh, by the way, everybody, I didn't change my mind to what the guy that replied to me thinks. Now, I would have liked other people to get in the conversation. To that end, I thank you for doing that. But then again, you immediately went off on a crazy tangent. Instead of making clear that you're saying that there's other aggressive tendencies in humans, maybe compensating for the lack of fangs, and saying, yeah, that humans are getting less aggressive in some ways, which you believe, you could have said, but so you disagree with Hannibal, so you don't want to grant anything, even things you agree with. And saying, hey, there's other aggressive things that rose up in that time, we compensated. You know, instead of saying that, instead of saying that you have this thing to add to the parts we agree, you just went, you're not even following Darwin, that's crazy. Totally crazy to think that the smallening of our fangs has something to do with aggression. Nobody would ever say that, not for real. And then, you know, you agree with me on the Cro-Magnon thing, but instead of agree with me, you're going, oh yeah, that's stupid too, they migrated more places than Europe. In other words, you could have said, well, I agree with you, they killed off people in Europe, and they did it there, not only there, but everywhere. You might even have added, there's a lot of missing hominids, or there's other missing hominids. And to that I would say, no shit, Sherlock. But you just don't like to agree, huh? Lying and cheating. You're saying that Hannibal's lying and cheating, and that his argument isn't even dissectable. Well, I just dissected it for you. He said that as an animal, he thinks we're getting less aggressive, and resource crisis and certain dominant minorities explain the rise in violence in the last couple millennia. I dissected it. Well, but my name's Amendum and I disagree with it, therefore I can't understand it. No.
Not a wise strategy.
Yes, I'm not a moral nihilist, but I do believe that the moral value of the welfare of your child that you hold does die with you. But see, that child still lives, and so it believes in its moral welfare, so it lives on that way. And its other relatives and hopefully other people, especially if it's a decent person, still value it. So the value goes on. But yes, the value that one person holds does die off. And if You know, if everybody was gone, the value, it wouldn't even pertain. So I'm sorry, that's just the way that it is. I mean, we create the value as a judgment on what the material reality, which is beyond value, means to us, to the value, to what? To our survival. You hate survival, so you think everything has a negative value. I value survival, so I think everything can have positive value. So I do agree with Hannibal. It's a major change done in small steps. We slowly evolved the elements of language. It was not a sudden or crazy thing. That's why you can see that apes can get a certain amount of language, and other animals have communication systems that might as well be called language. So I don't know what you hope to argue there. I think you don't really know. I think you were just trying to piss on Hannibal. And as far as the actual ordering and structuring of that pissing and the insults and exactly what they were and why Hannibal might want to call you an idiot, and why when you tell him that his evidence is so crazy it proves he's not even a student and this kind of stuff, that he might want to call you an idiot for that and say that you're the one that doesn't know shit because you didn't just present the alternate view of something. You said his was totally laughable and doesn't even exist. And meanwhile, I'm watching, I see what his argument is, and I see you going, it doesn't exist. That means you are blind, right? You can't see something I can see, and it's a problem with your vision. So, yeah, really, I mean, the main thing would be, what are you thinking? Why do you think I would care? And do you think maybe that your low-watt internet fame has gone to your head? That I'm worried that what you put in your descriptions or title is going to somehow Google bomb me? I'm going to be the #1 search for idiot? And that would bother me because the people coming to my video would think I might be an idiot? I mean, what are you thinking? I don't understand that. I'm not that way. If there's some automatic thing of just automatically nobody on the earth, I don't want anybody to come. No, I don't think it's great when jerks, morons, and uneducated fools call me idiot and jerk and uneducated fool. I think it's funny and entertaining and appropriate and fitting. So, yeah, by all means, man. What are you thinking? Yeah. Well, so much for this for now.